Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone. We should be live. All right, everything should be working. Can everyone hear me? Evil, Ayesha, Chainlink Crypto, Michael, it's Jasmine, hello, hello. Mr. Muad'Dib. Welcome, everyone. Waiting a couple more minutes so some more people can join, and then we'll kick things off as usual. Cover Bitcoin, thoughts, game plans, trade IDs, trades that I'm currently in on both Bitcoin and altcoins. And then we'll do some requests, I guess, answer questions, whatever you guys want. The stream will be recorded, so you will be able to rewatch the stream or a part of the stream at a later point in time. Very sexy voice, thanks. Are you European? Yes, I am. From the beautiful Belgium. Hello George, I did the Bluefin deposit last week and DM'd you. You should DM me on Discord. On Twitter it takes a while since I get a lot of spam on Twitter DMs, but on Discord I usually answer very fast. There's a link in the description you can use to join. And if it's not working, the DMs on Discord, simply change your settings. My settings should be fine. Can we see your face? Oh, maybe one day, man. Maybe one day. You and Ellis sound the same. Nah, I don't think so. Bear market starts. No, damn. Here we are again. Belgium taxes suck. Yeah, I agree, but yeah. What's worth more, you know? Your family and friends or taxes? Did it on Discord? Well, send me a reminder and I'll check you after stream. Bro, why Bitcoin follows SPX on the dumps but not during pumps last 2 days? How many times have I told you stop looking at the S&P and just focus on Bitcoin? All right, good time to start, I think. It's a little bit past 2. So we'll get started. Already 80 people in here, which is amazing. As I said, the stream will be recorded. If you need to go early or something, you will be able to rewatch the stream. So let's get it. First things first, big thanks to the sponsor and the partner of myself, which is Bluefin, an exchange where you can trade futures on all different kind of assets. They blessed me with a link that is attached to a deposit bonus, as you can see on stream on the screen right now. If you use the link in the description, right, you will get to this page. As you can see, deposit and trade, new user rewards, especially if you're starting small, right? Deposit some money. Even with some money, you can already get a nice deposit bonus. So simply make your account here. KYC is not, you don't need KYC in order for you to trade or withdraw or anything. So big thanks to them for sponsoring the stream and for being such a great partner. To you guys, if you're enjoying the stream, leave a like on the stream and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're trying to grow on YouTube, going for that 10k subs. So if you enjoy the streams, want to get notified whenever I go live, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, that's good for the algo. And yeah, let's get started. So we'll start off with Bitcoin. By the way, feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and I'll try to answer as many as possible. All right, good. So for Bitcoin, we'll start off with Bitcoin. As always, we'll start off by talking about what happened in the last week, right? And what our game plans were from last week, okay? So the levels that we were watching last week were also Monday high and Monday low, but from last week. So I'm just gonna mark those out just for like educational purposes, and will also help give us a view on this week's price action. So we had Monday low like this and Monday high like this, right? And I'm not sure, this was Tuesday candle, at what time exactly that we streamed, but what was our game plan, right? We had a Monday low sweep here, a last month's low sweep. So high time frame liquidity got swept to the downside, and what did we say? We were in longs from the lows, and we were targeting, well, our first target was actually Monday high. From there, those ugly daily highs up here, these two, into some lower time frame levels, right? Supply in here, right? And if we got above that area and we didn't do this and then reject, right, but did this and stayed above here, right, then we were going to target the highs up here, okay? So that was the game plan from last week. I didn't close any of my longs on the sweep of Monday high for the exact reasons that I gave back then, because of the high time frame liquidity sweep below last month's low, also weekly sweep, right? As you can see, swept previous two weekly candle lows, decent bounce from there, decent upside, which told us that there was a high chance that we would see higher prices from there, okay? So to be honest, I have been holding my longs ever since. I haven't touched it, I haven't TP'd, I haven't closed any, simply because of the reasons I just gave. High time frame liquidity got swept. I think we're going higher, okay? Now, let me remove these levels again. And what am I watching next? So starting off with marking out. No, actually, let me start off by saying, by giving some thoughts on the general structure and what I saw there. So it's a pity that the weekly candle, the current weekly candle, already flipped red, because it would have been it would have been cleaner if it was still trading up here. But basically, what I was watching yesterday and this morning, I'm not sure if you saw my tweet yesterday evening, but what I said there, I think we were trading, somewhere up here, right? Even at the highs up here. I said the best thing for us to do right now is to first trade lower without taking liquidity higher, in order for us to trade much higher later in the week. And that if we would have seen more upside from the prices that we traded yesterday, that it was more likely that we would trade lower towards the latest part of the week, right? And why did I say that? Well, if you took a look at the weekly candle, we basically had no wick to the downside. So ugly looking weekly candle. And on the daily, there also were some structures that I didn't like. First thing was this daily low, right? As you can see, how can I show you better? Maybe with this replay, if I... Yeah, see, if I go to the weekly now, nah, that doesn't seem to work. Hold on. Just want to make it as clear as possible. Nah, that, on the weekly it's not gonna work, but on the daily I can show you. So, what was the daily? Looking like? Was looking like this, right? And whenever I see a candle structure or just multiple candles that look like this, it's often not a good sign. Why? Basically, no wick to the downside, right? Almost, of course, there is a little wick, but we barely took any liquidity below that daily open, right? The previous week daily candle low was unswept as well, and we had major resistance to the upside, right? Where we swept the highs, swept Monday high into the monthly open, retested supply up there, and pretty much got rejected, right? So what did I say there? For me, the plan was simple. I wanted to see downside first, downside in here, take those lows, right? And then see the good reaction. At that point, we would have swept the lows. Liquidity would be still at these highs and towards these highs, setting up for a beautiful long play or a beautiful swing for Bitcoin to the upside. If we wouldn't have done that, right, because now we know that we're already seeing some downside, but if we wouldn't have done that and we would have gone for the highs first, at that point the draw would be more towards these lows, and the chances of us breaking straight back below, right, after sweeping this and trading lower towards the lows there would have increased a lot. Okay, so that's basically what I was watching. Let's remove all of this. So now that we got the downside, what I really like, and to be honest, exactly what I wanted to see, straight nuke from Tuesday open. Okay, that's the first thing I like. Barely a wick to the downside here, right? That's gonna be acting as a draw up here. Flat top, acting as a draw. Secondly, our Monday range, current Monday range, there and there. Monday low and Monday high. Good thing, once again, like I just explained, Monday high is unswept now, while we swept Monday low, right? So ideally, so this morning we already sort of swept it, but the fact that we dumped back below is telling me, or is at least hinting that we need some liquidity lower down. So what's the level that we have in mind? Like we just said, because of this ugly candle formation, liquidity below here. So what am I watching here? Ideally from here, maybe during New York session, as always, we dump some, right? Something like this, but then I want to see strength come in, reclaim these levels, and then at that point this flat top and Monday high will be acting as a draw together with liquidity above these poor and these ugly daily candles. And what I hope, and at that point I think is likely, is that we send it towards, well, finally back above the monthly open, into 87 Ks. Right? Is that clear for everyone? So I explained it the best way I could, but also having plans like these in mind allows you to be comfortable with downside even when you're in longs, right? I'm in longs from like 79, 80K, I don't know. But I'll be fine if prices dump back below Monday low because I have a plan in mind, you know? I know that the draw is gonna still be to the upside. I know that we at that point would sweep liquidity to the downside. I might even add some to my longs if we do so. Invalidation for me is still below last week's Monday low and below last month's low, okay? Why? Because I could also see us do something like this and take liquidity lower down below here, trap everyone will think it's over again while we dump into major support, last month's low, right? And at that point, see strength come in, reclaim and send it to the highs. And another reason why I'm focusing on that upside is because of the weekly, you know? Weekly last week swept liquidity to the downside, swept weekly liquidity. And as you can see, last week's weekly high is still unswept, and that's a good sign. So where's the draw on weekly liquidity? Well, to the upside. So that's also gonna be a draw here. Last week's high, you see? So if we now sweep some lows, I'm not sure, either just this one or all the way down into last month's low, we still have that draw to the upside of that flat daily top, Monday high, last week's high, and all of these highs up here. Of course, we can always be wrong on all of this, but that's the plan. We stick to the plan, we risk accordingly, manage our risk, and if it fails, you know, if we nuke below here, that's fine. Then we're wrong and we're on to the next one. Right, let's see some questions. Ezekiel, what's up, my man? Good to see you. My major challenge is identifying range lows and range highs. Check out the video I posted on my Twitter page. It's completely free, it's on YouTube. It should help. Open YouTube at work, see George streaming, happy days. Nice, man. Would you like 79K or will it get ugly if we get to this level? Well, like I just explained, two scenarios. First one, just sweep this. Second, sweep that right here. That's also the reason why I haven't trailed stops. A lot of people would now trail their stops below here or maybe even trail them below there, but my plan is to catch longs from these lows to at least this area up here. Any validation for that play is still below last month's low. It's a new week now. It's normal we see some downside, sweep some lows, and then we trade it back higher. What about a rejection at 87K following FOMC, then the sweep of 70K? 87, yes. Like I said, I could see that. So you mean something like this, up in here, and then get rejected? Yeah, of course. I will 100% be taking some profits up here. Because that's a key area. Major liquidity resting here, right? And big supply, I think that's coming, that's gonna be coming from this area. Is there another way to join the Discord? Nope, you can just make a new account. Totally agree, good to see, man. Everyone is expecting 74. It's becoming a crowded trade. Max Pain is up. I'm sure. I'll take it. Wait, 74. I'm not sure everyone is expecting 74, to be honest, but we'll see. I feel like it's easy to say that everyone's watching this or everyone's watching that. But the truth is, even if everyone is watching a certain scenario, how many of those guys are gonna execute what they said they would execute beforehand, right? Like maybe now they all say maybe dip in here and then back up, but when prices are down here, they'll all be scared again, right? There's gonna be max fear. People are gonna be calling for a breakdown, and that's when you bounce, and maybe not that low, maybe even here, right? It's like New York Open dump, classic. It's over again, and then to the unexpected. But yeah, we'll see. A lot of liquidity on the heat map recorded with the first ID. Yeah, I haven't checked it today. I will check it later today, the high block liquidation levels. But I'm pretty sure they mostly line up with my IDs, with just looking at key highs and key lows. Looking at the structure on the chart, like I said, daily candles that are looking unhealthy are always gonna have a draw towards them. So that's only on its own. Like you don't even need levels for that. Just to be targeting, of course, the levels help. But yeah, you get the ID. And at the moment, we're making a beautiful setup here with that flat daily top up here. That's also why I'm comfortable in longs, and I think we at least revisit up here before potentially lower. But in my opinion, we just send it higher then. Very reasonable plan. I also think that we will see some manipulation in New York Open. How did you determine your entry on that low? How did you know that this will be the low heading to the pump? You mean when I longed down here? Well, that I explained in the last stream, right? So I initially set bids below last month's low, but with very low position size and a very wide stop, right? So my stop loss was like, I think it was even wider. I think it was even below 70k, somewhere around here, in case we would have done this and then saw the spike, you know. So I had a bunch of orders lined up below the low, but then we got the buyback and we closed back inside on the 4 hour, and that's where I went heavy and already trailed stops below the low, because we swept monthly liquidity and failed to break down, and that's a bullish sign. So that's where I pull the trigger. If it bounces from now, from Monday low, sweep into weekly highs this week, lows unswept, would you expect downside next week? Let me read that again. If we bounce from Monday low, sweep into the weekly highs, and this week's low. Yeah, possibly. You mean if we do this, right, and then sweep weekly highs and then dump again? Yeah, that completely changes the situation. That's why I'm saying I'm gonna be taking profits here aggressively. That area is gonna be key. What's in the Discord? In the Discord, I post all of my trades live when I take them. More analysis, requests, questions, stuff like that. I do a weekly live stream now as well, just for people in Discord, so it's a little bit more personal, you see. Do you use order blocks? It depends, you know, what you define an order block with. I just call it supply and demand, but to be honest, it's exactly the same as order blocks, right? So if you see it like that, yes, I do. Liquidation cluster at 84 and a liquidation cluster at 81.5. Well, then let's take those at 81.5 and go for 84 after. Right, so that's Bitcoin done. If there's any more questions, feel free to ask. But moving on, another coin that I'm in, Lux, right? You've probably seen me talk a lot about this, on Discord and on X. But the reason is very simple, because the price action on this is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so initially started longing right here. Was it from last week's stream? Don't really remember. Anyways, we longed on this candle initially. And what was the plan? Well, basic range, weekly range, 4-hour range, daily range, whatever you want to call it. Swept, looked ugly, but then some consolidation and smashed back inside the range from there. What did you have already there? So I, to be honest, was already late to the party, but what did you have there? A clean invalidation on longs after a retest of range low into that consolidation area, right? What else did you have? Inefficiency here. Well, inefficiency, liquidity, I'll say. Ugly lower highs here, telling it that there was gonna be lots of liquidity resting there, and obviously this unswept range high right there. And you could even take it further and look at all of these highs right here. That's why I marked it out like that. Daily, you could see it as well, right? Ugly close, but what you want to see then, right? The closes don't really matter that much, as I've explained on Bitcoin as well. What you do want to see is straight up a straight up reclaim from the sweep, and that's exactly what we got. Strong close, and as you can see, we longed, instant continuation, then range mean initially acting as resistance, right? Try to continue here, but with Bitcoin looking ugly as well. Dumped a little, retested the highs, draw was on these lows, swept the lows beautifully into former consolidation, straight continuation, reclaiming range mean, right? Retesting range mean, and now where's it gonna be the draw now? On liquidity, well, towards the higher part of the range, which is range high. And as you can see how pivotal these levels have been acting, even from when before I was in longs or looking at this, is absolutely beautiful. So I've added and closed multiple times in between. I've always posted it in the Discord. Basically, any entry I gave was in profit at these highs. Then on a lower time frame play, for ads, you could have taken a stop out, but I just kept adding and then taking profit at the highs. And now I'm just gonna let it run towards range highs. I added back what I closed yesterday this morning, so I'm back in with almost full size. What am I looking for on the lower time frames? It's a nice pop here, by the way. What am I looking for on the lower time frames? As you can see, I marked out this lower time frame range, highs, lows, highs unswept and lows unswept. Yeah, at the moment, I'm not sure we're gonna get it, because as you can see, it's looking very strong. But I was looking for a sweep of range low in here, right? At that point, I would add my last part, look for the reclaim, and then target the highs. First target up here, second target up here. But yeah, it looks at the moment like it just wants to send higher from here. But it's no surprise, you know, swept range lows, initially rejected at range mean, swept local lows, then had the strength to smash above range mean, retest range mean to the absolute T, as you can see. And now, yeah, continuation to range highs. So I think we continue to range highs from here. Daily. Yeah, one thing that was a little bit concerning was the candle structure right here. As you can see, barely a wick to the downside. But at the moment, looks like it's just gonna run away from it. As you can see on the daily, See how pivotal this range mean is? Never closed above range mean, closed above range mean, quick retest and continuation. So next draw, in my opinion, is just straight to range high. And why not here? Because here we had already taken liquidity on this one right here was an equal high, took liquidity on this candle, right? So if we wanted lower from the sweep of this liquidity, should have done it from here. But instead, retest range mean and straight continuation. So at this point, I think we just send it to range highs. But we'll see. Curve was another one I was watching, but I sadly closed first at break even, then we long back at the absolute bottom at the sweep of some lows here, but then closed again because we were in too many trades, and if Bitcoin would have dumped, we would have taken too many stop outs, so I closed it again, and now yeah, it's up beautifully. But this one I also posted live on X or on Twitter as well. Setup was like this, target up there, invalidation below here. So in any way, if you would have taken this, you'd be up in nice profits. So I wouldn't be surprised for this one as well if it starts sending to some highs. Beautiful daily range, you know. It's more than just, people sometimes forget to zoom out and they're focused on low time frames, but you know, to be honest, if you see this on the 4 hour, you could say it saw some upside. But if you take a look at it on the daily, it hasn't really done anything yet. If you take a look at how many percentages it can rise on a single day, here, or the moves it did there, right? What you want to be looking for here is a real breakout and a pump in here. And at that point, maybe even range highs up here. So if you look at it from that perspective, could still offer you a great trade. Yeah, it's up a bit already on the daily, right? So if you target the highs up here, sure, but I probably wouldn't take it because it's up a bit too much for my liking already. But you see, flat daily again. If we see more downside on Bitcoin and this sees an aggressive wick to the downside, could be a really nice bounce play. Well, not really bounce play, a real swing trade to the highs. All right, so that was another one that I was watching. Okay, and then we had CARB. I was watching yesterday. You know, what I sometimes do is just go to Bybit perps and then order them from strength to weakness and just look for the stronger ones, and often you're gonna find really strong coins with really beautiful setups, and that's how I found this one. So deviated or swept the lows, smashed back above local supply, which turned hopefully into support. So yesterday it was looking very good. At the moment, ugly rejection. I also saw something that was up with the funding on this one, so not sure I would get involved with this again, especially after this rejection. But this was basically the play for this one. That's also how I found Lux, by the way. Let's see, Bitcoin with a little down move here. Oops. Hopefully we go for the low here. You know the plan. This and then up. Right. I have extra capital lying around and actually want to get in with lump sum for Bitcoin spot long-term hold. What price point would you get in? It all depends on your plan. If you're not into Bitcoin in any spot position, I would already start buying. What's your target, right? We're down almost 30% from the highs. If you're targeting for the long term 180, 200k, 250k at some point, like this is a great entry. just ladder some, right? You don't need to enter at one price point, just average down, right? Or just buy every month with a part of it. Everyone who I talk to always wants to get in with everything they want to buy in one go, but that's not the play, you know? Just buy in parts. Buy some more if it goes lower. Dump on New York, sure, bring it on. Could still give us that. Seems like 1725 is a tough area to crack. So could still do this. But yeah, not sure we're gonna get it. I would still add if we do this. But not sure we're getting it. Could just blast higher from here. Will depend on Bitcoin, you know. Bitcoin just rejected a bit. That's why if Bitcoin sends from here, likely do this. Or maybe even if Bitcoin... Yeah, see that I don't like this. I want to see lower. Lower in one go. Boom. A decent sweep. Good reclaim. And then we send it. Alright. Any more questions? Otherwise, feel free to post some tickers and I'll take a look at some of them. I saw Tia, and that's one we were watching as well. Oof, big dump on this one. Not sure why it's this weak at the moment. Let's see, I had a different chart. This one. So I tweeted about it yesterday as well, right? And this is what I said. So someone asked me, what do you think about Tia? I said, I would like to see a low being built in this area, this gray area, then get a sweep of that low. And at that point, it could be a nice trade back towards some highs. And that's still what I want to see here. But seeing this is not really looking too strong to me. So if I don't have to trade it, why would I, you know? I always pick the strongest ones, at least if I'm looking for longs, of course, which is the point here. But yeah, if it's looking weak like this, I just pick another one. But if you want to give my know my thoughts, well, invalidation is below OTE right here, and I could still see bullish price action from these lows and something like this. But I'd let it do its thing here on the 4 hour, wait for some candle closes, wait for maybe a local range to set up, a sweep of those lows, and at that point, it'll be a higher probability setup. So let's watch Bitcoin, what it does. See, it's at the lows now. It's also funny how everyone was watching that guy on Hyperliquid with his huge short, right? He definitely knows something, blah, blah, blah. Then they all screamed he closed, right? Like right here. Isn't it funny how we just dumped from, from him closing? Like, man, do your own thing, you know. Anyways, good sweep here. But give it time, you know. Could also dump lower to these lows. So that's also, as you can see, 4 hour candle without a wick. Could also be a draw. We'll see. You know my invalidation. My invalidation is below last month's low. So even if it does this, could still bump to these highs. let's take a look at some more charts. I'm not currently in a spot position yet, started a monthly DCA early this year and now don't need that money and want to put it into the market. But you already started to DCA, so what do you mean you don't need the money? It's already in Bitcoin. Sol is also one that I'm thinking, you know, if it's acting weak, why get involved? Look for the stronger ones out there and trade those. But anyways, if you want to know my thoughts, I think it looks pretty ugly. Right? Swept these highs, failed to hold above, smashed back below, retested resistance, and now dumping off. So where is this gonna end? Probably some lows here, maybe wick there together with Bitcoin and then bounce again, but to where? Not too sure. Weekly, not looking that convincing. It's at this pivotal area, right? Weekly closed fairly bullish, at least for a bounce play. So could be nice to buy dips, would line up with Bitcoin, you know, if Bitcoin sweeps the lows, this one as well, into some low time frame support. Something like, let me remove all of this. Fuck that. Like this. Maybe if Bitcoin sweeps the lows, right? Let this one do this. Reclaim and then look for a bounce. ETH. Probably the same, yes. But what I like for Ethereum right now is that all of these highs are unswept, right? So that's gonna be a big draw. If it does this and rejects, yeah, that's very bearish. But for now, sweep some lows. Could be a nice day trade. But yeah, difficult to see how low it goes, right? That's why I think Bitcoin is cleaner. Because where do you long and where do you put your stop if you're just targeting these highs? You know, could sweep that low, could sweep this low. Where's your invalidation? Not sure, you know. I probably feel only safe below that low. But then if you're just targeting here, yeah, it's not bad, but better off with Bitcoin, in my opinion. XRP. Yeah, been the stronger one for sure. Maybe that level. It's not a clean chart, honestly. Let's see, previous week. Monthly, weekly open maybe. Daily. Seeing some nice sweeps already. That's support there as well. 4 hour. Yeah. These lows as well probably. Yeah. Something like this. And then bounce. Target up here. I mean, not the cleanest chart, but for sure one of the stronger charts. You can see the difference, right, between XRP that looks like this on the daily and Sol that looks like this, or ETH that looks like this, right? So I quite like this, to be honest. If you get the sweep like this, could be a really nice buy. Something like that. For a stop loss, always nice to draw out your OTE. Not sure how low this wick goes though. If it's the same on most exchanges. But anyways, shouldn't matter too much. If you average in here, you have a clean invalidation, I'd say below there. Right, this 4-hour level, and then the target up there. That's a beautiful setup. I like this. What do you think of chart patterns? I personally don't use them, but yeah, if they make you money, go for it. I like XRP, looking strong. You see these lows? And it's also like, this area in general is where a lot of price action happened, right? Here, 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 here. So that's gonna be key support in my opinion. So sweep, reclaim, send to the highs. I might take this. I hope Lux goes for the highs. And I can reduce some risk on this. But yeah, for now I'm just holding this one. That's my approach, at least the last few weeks and probably the coming weeks. It doesn't make sense to have a lot of altcoin longs open at the same time, at least not all if you're all risking 1 hour with them, you know, because if Bitcoin takes a nuke, right, even on the lower time frames, altcoins are gonna go down as well. You always have some exceptions, but it's not worth it, you know. So that's why I always stick to 1, maximum 2 altcoin longs and then a trade on Bitcoin for the moment. So that's why I said if Lux goes for the highs and XRP still looks good, I might take some off on that and move over some risk to that setup. Yeah, what's Litecoin doing, by the way? Also looking bad. I bought the literal top on this up here. But yeah, I have time, you know. It's spot. Ideally, just sweep the lows, get it over with, capitulate Bitcoin, I don't know, and then do this. Let's see. Why is ETH underperforming like crazy? I don't understand it. Well, because no one wants it, probably. No one wants to buy it. I mean, I expected way more from it as well, but it is what it is, you know. There's no point in keep mocking about it. Just accept it and move on, I'd say. I also still hold spot bags. Because yeah, I refuse to sell at this high time frame level, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it in the future, to be honest with you. ID. Yeah, what I don't like is that this last week's high got swept. But let's take a look. It is looking strong though, and as you can see on today's daily candle, no wick to the upside. Nah, not too convincing to me personally. Maybe if it does this, that's probably range mean as well of this range. Yeah, you see, beautiful. Ticked range mean, So maybe if we accept at this area and then trade it to range high, then maybe, but down here, I'd either wait for a sweep of some lows into range low, so maybe this, or a reclaim higher. If Bitcoin bounces, this is gonna fly. I feel like. Look how strong it is. If Bitcoin bounces though, doesn't look like it's gonna be a clean sweep and reclaim as of now. But we'll see. Like I said, it could need a sweep down here and more aggressive downside, everyone to give up, and then the real bounce, right? I don't think personally that we go for this low again, but that's just because of the look of the weekly. Right, if you, what's this level lining up with? Oh, that is this level. Yeah. See that maybe weekly level, just quick sweep, boom, reclaim, and then this. But we'll see. Or we fly from here, you know. You saw this scam coin? Not sure you saw it on Twitter, but I posted about this, that I was shorting this scam coin. I'm not sure where. I shorted like around here. Get my stop up here. But funding was like minus 1.5%, so shorts had to pay a shit ton. But then it looked like it was going to break down. Did this. Looked like it was going to break down. And I kept paying in funding, and then on this I got liquidated because I just deposited some money on Mex to short this. But basically funding liquidated me. And then it did this, and now I don't know what this coin is, man. But I heard funding is flat again, so I wouldn't be surprised if it dies. Doggy not looking or Doge, whatever you want to call it. Crazy. Ina as well. Got some questions on that post today. That I was bearish last week and bullish this week. Well, it's simply because this is a weekly chart, and I think on the weekly time frame, anything in this gray area should be a good buy. to target like a 2x or something, right? Even if you buy here and just target this, like a 2x is very doable. Or if it dumps a little bit lower, as you can see, you can even get a 3x. So that's for spot. But indeed, if you look at it on the lower time frames, it's been weak for the last couple of days. So wouldn't be surprised if it makes new lows and then does this. Alt season. Nah, man, never again. Guys, let's get the likes to 60 likes at least. We have 100 people watching. Leave a like if you enjoy it, guys. Really helps me a lot. Also subscribe to the YouTube. Trying to hit 10k. Let's do this. How would alts even bounce at 2x? Yeah, it's classic. Whenever you start asking yourself those questions, that they do. Whenever you do this, right? You've had upside and then a long time of downside with some squeezes along the way, and then you get this, right? Sideways price action for a long while, and that's when people start asking themselves, why would they even 2x, or is it even possible? And then they do this. And the crazy thing is, people always think that you can only make money on altcoins whenever they do this, right? But just buying the lows and selling for a 2x can be very nice as well. And they also forget that a 2x from here is way easier than a 2x from here. So yeah. I'm not saying to buy alts right here and to hold for a 2x. That's just something that came to mind when you said, how is it even possible? What do you think of FOMC tomorrow? No clue, man. I'll just take a look at the Bitcoin chart and trade what I see. Any plan for new educational content? Well, to be honest, I cover everything I use in the video, in the one video that I posted, so not really. Been following you for about 2 months, new to trading, really interesting stuff. Hey, thanks, man. Can you please look into Pepe? Yes, I can. Lol. Nice loan. Yeah, well, I think this chart says enough. No? It did sweep weekly lows, but as for trades, right? I'm not gonna talk about investing or buying spot on these. Well, simply since I wouldn't. Would I buy spot here on this? No. Because I have no clue what memes will do in the next couple of months, so I'd rather stay safe. As for trading, as you can see, last week's high swept into former resistance. Daily. Looking ugly as well. Unswept low. Yeah, so I think at least towards here. What's that? Yeah, see the weekly. So this is a good example of how Bitcoin was looking, right? Well, without the sweep of last week's high. So without this wick. But this was the body, was looking like this. It was green, but barely a downside wick. That's what I meant. And then you have a high chance that either within the same candle or in the next, you take out that low. And so yeah, I think that's the case here as well. So there, that's gonna be draw. That's swept. So at least to here, but at that point, likely sweep this low as well into at least here. Well, at least, yeah, that is already the low. But anyways, not interesting, not clean to me what this will do, so. But I think it goes lower. Only strong coin. Lol. Let's see the strongest coins right now. I meant that separate from the DCA, which I just started, I have money left over and want to invest it into Bitcoin. How and when would you do that? Like, that means that you have very little exposure at the moment, so I would already start buying with some. Maybe with 1/3, 1/4, I don't know. And then hold the rest in case we go lower. Or in case we go higher, you know. Just buy every month with bigger amounts. What about liquidity sweep on the low of 76.6? Is that the current daily low? Well, or weekly, monthly low, I'll say. Where's Bitcoin? There. 76. Yeah, this one. Well, like I said, don't think we need it. Because of the weekly closed very strong in my opinion. Swept liquidity and weekly liquidity is unswept. So I don't think we need to go for weekly liquidity below here in order for us to move to weekly liquidity higher. Right, so see what I sometimes do is go to the Bybit perp list and then just order them like this and look for the strongest coins, and you'll often see that like coins like this, you know, I'm not gonna buy into these are usually just pump anthems or I don't know what. This one same, although as you can see low time frame, been pretty damn strong. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of crap in this as well, but very often I just look at those that are good into the green and look for setups, and more than often they actually work. That's just a squeeze. Meme coins I also don't really like. Swept last week's high. ETH already swept low. Yeah, possible. Bitcoin as well, you know. Could see it bounce from here. Let's see actually what a S&P is doing. $60 likes, let's go. Oh, fuck's sake. You still holding looks? Yes, of course. My lists here are so not orient, or how do you say it? Yeah, see, S&P is nuking, Bitcoin normally following, but like if the S&P does this and then bounces, I don't know what Bitcoin's gonna do. See, 1-to-1 copy again. That's why I thought that before the weekend, I thought that we were gonna trade to these highs here during the weekend because there was no pressure from the S&P. And I mean, I always say don't look at the S&P, but for those things, right, it's nice to keep in mind. But yeah, we failed to do so, and now it's back to copying it. But still, I'm following my plans, and like I said, S&P kept nuking to new lows while Bitcoin held up right here, and that's just because it's at the key level and because it's strong. And it's gonna do exactly the same on this setup that I just explained. Even when S&P does this, right, and nukes to new lows, if it wants to bounce, and if the liquidity is resting higher, then it's gonna bounce. So yeah, I'm holding longs. Looking to enter a long targeting 87. Would you start entering below the sweep of 80k or 78.2? Maybe 50, then 50. Yeah, that's a difficult one, you know. I'm in from here already, so for me it's easier. But if I wasn't in already, let's see. Yeah, that's decent already, you know. 1.5 R, and then you hold some. But yeah, where do you? I maybe keep the stop a little bit wider, somewhere around there. Something like this, and then half could be a nice play. Or what you can also do is this. Stop below here, but that's very tight, you know. And then go lower risk, like 1.3 R or something. But yeah, then you have a high risk to reward, so your profit would be the same, but then you can try again down here in case it sweeps that. You see? What about cake? My entry would have been at 3 if we get some resistance there. I think we already saw the bottom on ETH. I have no clue, man. Also, if it reclaims of 82.5 on the hourly, would validate the ID for a bounce. Would be looking to put my stop loss higher at a certain point if we do enter. Yeah, the thing is with reclaims, I always like entering aggressively. Why? Because that gives you the best risk reward and the best entry. If you wait for, like back in the days, waiting for the reclaim would very often work and work very well. But what you often get right now, these days, is like, for example, you bounce aggressively and reclaim and then just keep bleeding lower and lower and lower and then end up there anyways. So what I like doing then is, with the same plan, enter down here with the same stop, rather than entering here with the same stop, having a worse entry, instant down from your entry, even if you're wrong. Like, you get what I'm saying. If I know that my plan is to long a sweep of some lows, and I have my validation, yeah, then fuck it, why not enter at the sweep. See, even on the hourly you can use these flat bottom and top strategies, sort of. So maybe something like this, and then blast off. Let's see. Hello, Joao Santos. What's your confirmation if there is a sweep of a low or high? Well, I just explained. I just enter at the sweep. Ugly hourly close, but as you guys know, that doesn't need to mean anything. Yeah, we did Solana already. Let's see Ripple. I probably will take this setup, to be honest. This one. I like it. But yeah, it's bouncing already. Lol. I already did the ID, right? Yeah, we did. See, this was the initial long. And this was where I gave a second entry. Then I did some very low time frame one as well. That initially ran up big, but then got stopped. And right now invalidation is here for me. Below there. But yeah. Not sure we're gonna get the sweep. Would be a beautiful setup. Highs, lows, bam, into demand, reclaim, and then send. But yeah, the way it's looking, could also do this. So yeah, then you'd probably take it like this. Half risk, maybe even below here. But it's risky with Bitcoin, you know. Are you aware of drift? No, not really. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. We covered a lot, gave our thoughts on Bitcoin, what we're thinking. You know the game plans, gave our trade setup on looks as well, why we're in, what we're expecting. and our future game plans. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Big thanks to Blowfin. If you want to see my trades, all of my trades live, before I enter them, well, right after I enter them, use the link in the description and make a deposit to Blowfin. There's no KYC needed. Make a trade, test out the exchange. There's a deposit bonus as well if you use that link. And send me a message on Discord, right? We'll sort things out. Big thanks for coming. Was a good one. And I will see you guys either in the Discord stream later this week or in the public stream next week. Take care, stay safe, and see you all later. Bye.